Out of all the battle rappers that have come and gone, there is only one whose position in life currently does not shock me whatsoever. To the Batmobile, let's talk about it. I feel like everyone first became a fan of Daylyt through Rich Dollars, and I believe if I really thought about it, I would probably agree as well. And from then on, there was a very wide variety, we'll say, of Daylyt performances. But from Rich Dollars, I became a fan immediately, and I mean a super fan. Me and my boy Theravada would smoke J's in my car, and we would go down Daylyt rabbit holes. I'm talking like music videos, blogs. His blog after the B Magic battle, one of the most iconic blogs I've ever seen in my life, really was like my zeitgeist to battle rap and just kind of understanding who Daylyt was as a person, just breaking down bars and breaking down intention and meanings behind not just the rounds and the lyrics, but the overall storyline that this guy was kind of piecing together for you, but not a lot of people kind of stayed with it. I'll never forget that video, man. Sunlight walking up to him and running around in the background, just the aesthetics of where he was. It was a mind-blowing and eye-opening blog. But from then on, he had his phase of, if you don't have my 500, I'm gonna clap this shit up. Going from small league to small league, doing performances, sometimes rapping with props and antics. You know, a lot of people had a lot to say about Daylyt's antics, but I always kind of saw the message in it. I always saw the meaning. And the thing about Daylyt is that it's bigger than battle rap. And not many people understand it like he does. I mean, no one understands it like he does, but not many people understand the basics of performing and rapping, and it not just being about performing and rapping. You're leaving an imprint. You're leaving a lasting impression. You're building on your storyline. You're doing something now that will trickle down and benefit you later. And that was something that Daylyt always did, and I always caught on to it. Didn't matter what the antic was, didn't matter if it ruined a battle. I got it. I understood it. I became a huge fan. I even fell in love with his music, man. I mean, dude, I don't know if he came here on a spaceship. That tank lip track, man. Oh my God. I'm still trying to find that song, by the way. I think he deleted it, but for a better purpose. There are many times where he was very underappreciated and disrespected, and he kind of became the butt of many jokes because of his antics, and a lot of people, you know, not fucking with it at all, but I always fucked with it. We'll fast forward a little bit to the year that Drake and Meek Mill were going back and forth for the first time, and they were about to drop diss tracks against each other. Daylyt, the troll and the genius that he is, makes a track impersonating Drake, and they drop it on Vlad TV. I think that video got maybe like 2 million views in the first hour of it being out. Another like troll platinum hit from Daylyt. You know, Daylyt has been viral so many times, but this is one of his better moments. It's getting so much traction. This was before AI. Before AI, Daylyt had people wondering if it was Drake or if it wasn't. Daylyt was the first person to do that. And I'll never forget it, man. I was in my car listening to that song, smoking a J, and Daylyt hit me up on Facebook for the first time. You got to understand, man, me in like my first year of URL, I was such a young kid. Everything was so new to me. I was just so excited about everything. And then out of nowhere, this guy that I'm the biggest fan of, you know, he's my favorite battler. He hits me up. I mean, I lost my shit, dude. I lost my shit. I couldn't believe Daylyt was reaching out to me, but he actually hit me up and wanted me to know that he sees what I was doing. He sees what I've been doing, and he respects it, and he fucks with it. And more than anything, he likes what I do outside of battle rap. You know, a lot of people see me as I've always been an idiot. I've always kind of, you know, I don't know if it's like a deep thing about my childhood or depression, but like I always kind of use myself as the joke. I like making people laugh, and I feel like I'm the easiest target for myself. But if you see my videos and the way I troll, you know, I do a lot of what Daylyt does, man. Daylyt inspired me a lot in how I move in battle rap. Daylyt was the king of making situations that have nothing to do with him all about him. And trust, I definitely took some notes on that. There have been many situations between battlers where I will swoop in and make a joke and be the highlight for the moment. And Daylyt's always done that. And he wanted to just let me know that he appreciated, you know, what I do, and he likes what I do outside of battle rap. From then on, we have many conversations, man, many conversations that I hold dear to me, and I consider him a friend. And I was starting to become a friend of his. I just battled Tink the Demon, and I get a call from P at URL, and who does he want me to battle? He wants me to battle Daylyt. In my head, I'm thinking, how did I even like deserve this? I get what I did versus Tink, but like, how did I deserve this? Daylight's never been on the URL. This is his big debut. Like, how did I get this? And there were a lot of battlers that questioned that as well. I got that battle because Daylyt gave me that battle. Daylyt saw the potential in me. Daylyt wanted to, get onto the URL, but kind of like start low and wanted to face somebody that he felt like would make for a great matchup and just kind of keep his continuation onto where he needed to go. And he chose me. Daylyt has helped me in more ways than one, when it comes to just being a person, when it comes to being an artist, when it comes to being an entertainer. I've learned from him many times, and he's given me many opportunities that have taken me to the next level, and I'll forever be grateful for him. Even the day after we battled, man, I hung out with him and his wife, and we had some deep conversations, man, some life-changing conversations that I'll never forget. And, here we are now. And I kind of just gave you the background of his, battle rap career and his virality and just me as a fan to just get to a moment last year. And, I hate to flex my friendship, but I got a text message on October 28th of last year from him about J. Cole. It was a picture of him in the studio with J. Cole and a couple other people. Now, let me tell you something. When Daylyt hits you up and Daylyt tells you something, you have to, in the back of your head, think that there is something fishy about it. There's something about the story that he is bullshitting. I mean, the things that Daylyt has told me that is happening, or the things that Daylyt said he had in the works, I can't even get into it. I've explained it on this channel and on my streams a couple times. I've told you stories about Daylyt. So when he tells me that something is happening, it's really hard to believe, but it's not something where like Daylyt is lying to you. Like he is that much of a troll. Like it'll just be you and him. Like there's no reason to troll. Like no reason to troll at all. Just you and him having a phone conversation, and he'll just flat out bullshit you. It's great. So when he had first sent me that picture, obviously there's some legitimacy. He is in a studio with J. Cole, but in the back of my head, I was like, all right, maybe he's just with J. Cole. Maybe he's in the studio with J. Cole. Okay, he's in the studio with J. Cole. Maybe that's just what it is. Just leave it, take it at face value. He's probably bullshitting. But no, he wasn't. J. Cole drops an album. Daylyt has not only a feature, but he produces 7-Minute Drill that becomes #1 on the charts. Hearing Daylyt on a J. Cole album, it's really hard for the casual fan to wrap their head around, but it's just so right, and it's just so deserved. Absolutely murders that feature, by the way, and shout out to Ab-Soul. I've never spoken to him, but man, I wish it was just Daylyt. Oh my God, if Daylyt just had a straight 16 on Cole's album, oh my God. But nonetheless, absolutely murders that verse and produces a #1 song. It's just so Daylyt. I just see that coming. I'm not shocked by that, even though he texted me that day. And, there was a part of me that was just like, all right, let's take this with a grain of salt. Let's not completely believe it, but I would believe it if it actually happened. And it happened. And I love it, man. And there's so much more to come too. I don't even look at this as like the end. I look at this as a catalyst for bigger and better things to come from Daylyt, man. Daylyt deserves all of this. I know he got a lot of flack during his battle years where he trolled a lot and he did a lot of antics. I know he catches a lot of flack for, saying certain things online and trolling online. But the one thing that I always learned from Daylyt, or at least understood, was that he doesn't give a fuck what you or anyone thinks. He does what he has to do to get where he wants to be. And he did that from the second we all knew who he was, to the feature on J. Cole's album, to producing a #1 hit. A lot of us bend over to society and opinions of us, and we change our tone based off how others feel. Daylyt has never done that, and I've always tried to, kind of learn from that. And that's just wanted to talk about my appreciation for Daylyt, my love for Daylyt, my admiration for him. Great rapper, Great dude. And yeah, man, I look forward to everything he has in the future. That's it. Peace out.